frustration comes from unmet expectation. So when you have expectation that a marriage is supposed to look like A, B, C, D, and a job in ministry is supposed to look like A, B, C, D,
and God's supposed to do
and
this,
the way this thing is supposed to work, or the way God is and his attributes, it's supposed to be A, B, C, D, and we have this linear way of thinking. And so when that's ripped out from under you or shaken a bit,
right,
like out of your heart, we talk about this all the time, but from out of your heart is what overflows out of your mouth. It's from your heart. So when your heart is built up with expectation, or just the way you believe life to work, the way it's structured, the way things go, that's going to in time show when it's rubbed that it's like the truth comes out, right? And so that's the whole point. Resilience is, have you built in enough stability of truth, of knowing who you are and who to put around you, that you can bounce back from those things, maybe quicker than you might tailspin into years of like grief and depression. And what you said earlier, it's like the idea of when something happens, you can visit there, but you don't want to set up camp and live there, you know? And so when something happens and you're sad or you're angry or you're upset or you're confused, it's okay to deal with those real emotions because they're real. And if you suppress them, they're only going to grow larger and affect you in other ways. But then you realize, but I don't want to live. I don't want to camp out and say, but I'm depressed, or I am now wounded by fill in the blank, this person or this organization or this thing, because then that just makes you a victim. And then you set up the camp. You're like, this is me and I'm a victim. When you walk by, come feel sorry for me. I didn't want to set up camp at my house, in the fall and be like, everyone just come over and hug me and say, yeah, this is this and this and that. It's like, yes, they can stop by and visit and be like, we're so sorry. And this is confusing, but also what's going to happen now to move forward. And it took me a few months to really sit with the reality of how rocked I was, then to realize, well, what is open to the future? What is going to happen now? And so, yeah, I think that's a whole point of resilience right there, just to know when it rocks you, you see what comes out. And then you're able to go, wow, what came out was ugly. Right here, I have mistrust about what I believe to be true in the church or in my relationship or my husband, right? And so you also get to confront yourself to realize, I had this belief I didn't know I had, this like ugly place, right?
My counselor, Max, said something cool. I mean, he was talking about relationships, but I think it ties into this as well. He's like, we go to the same counselor, but
we recommend him.
Has he showed you the vase?
No.
The vase? Okay, so like the vase, it could, like a vase, you could have a vase and it could look really good, but you can't really I guess test the quality of the vase until you pour water into it. Because then you start to see where the leaks are. You start to see where the problems are. You start to see where those cracks are, right? And it's the same thing kind of with us. And he was talking more in the relationships when struggles come or miscommunication happens, right? You have this kind of picture, this vase as a picture of relationships. But then once the water starts to pour in, you start to see the cracks in yourself. You start to see kind of the holes and what needs to be patched up, what needs to be molded back, right?
Makes sense.
And I thought that was pretty cool. But that's how it is in resilience, right? It allows you to grow from that place, right?
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
kind of, when you get water, actually, I guess the storms come, right? you get the water poured in, and it shows where the cracks in you are, so that more preemptively, right? That's like the next time, rather than hardening your heart, right? It's like, I need to get this. I need to put my hope in something, or I want my hope to be in something else, or maybe I need to change or reshift these expectations that I have on this person.